Well, hello there, folks. Welcome to my channel, Karen's Orchids. Today I'm going to focus on my Dendrobium orchids. Yeah? This are going on in this growing area. A lot is going on. I always loved Dendrobium orchids, but I haven't had so many. I always had to believe that they all should have dry winter rest. Cooler and drier and brighter. And as I did give it to him, and nothing happened. No blooms, nothing. I just gave up on him and put all my effort and focus on candy orchids instead, and stuff that I could grow. But it didn't stop me from getting a couple anyways. So all of a sudden, I realized that I could bloom them, and I could grow them. For example, this one. Dendrobium farmeri. It's a species. I better film it before it goes over. I found a dead bloom in here, in this crowded little spike, which is fragrant, which is lovely. Carries about 3 centimeters wide flowers. It looks like egg yolks to the middle. A very, very strong egg yolk colored center. Yeah, it's a good little splash in a way. The growth speed it had, it was impressive, really impressive. I just moved this orchid from there to here 2 weeks ago. A few days ago, I spotted a spike, 10 centimeter long spike. 3 days later, it was fully open. So, the speed of light, orchid. Speedy Gonzales. So now it's been 11 days. Yeah. The pendant spike has almost gone totally over. Happened yesterday. In a haze. So I got to enjoy the flowers at the very best for at least 10 days. Yes. So everything happens extremely rapidly when it comes to this orchid. The Southeast Asian species. Well, I was well aware of short-lived flowering when I first got it. It doesn't stop me from wanting the pink variety as well now. Yeah, and it's true. Here's the place where they should come out from, the flower spikes. It's normal. Yes, from a little node. So, this one. I think this one looks most promising of them all. The ones left. There and there. Might happen this year, might happen next year. Some consider this orchid to be a large grown species. Is it when it first starts blooming, or is it the maximum size of a very aged plant? Not sure. And if you read about it, it should be kept cool in winter, warm in summer, medium lights. I kept it drier, but it was still a bit damp down there to the moss. I haven't repotted this orchid since I got it in September last year. I didn't feel the need to. And now you can see, right after it finished its blooming, new roots are produced. Normally, when dendrobiums have finished blooming, it should be given a slight rest. But I don't think it's wise to give it a rest when it starts to create new roots. So, no, stupid. So I kept it in that window, bright light. Yeah, maybe at a range of about 12 to 22 degrees Celsius throughout winter. Today's April, and we got 20 degrees Celsius in the window this one's sitting in. So, I like it. Originally from Sverige, distributed by KG Orchids in Denmark. Yeah, And in the cabinet, I need to show you guys. There's something before it goes over, as Dendrobium orchids can be fairly quick. So, just need to get one or two things out first, so I can get to it properly. Just need to bring that one down. So, I'm afraid that she's going to be overbloomed in a few days' time. And she's been out for a while. I don't want us to miss the chance to see her. Now I'm not watering them properly. Need some more water. Anyways, this is a community pot with the Dendrobium Anosmum. Comes from a guy at our Orchid Society. I got it, the same time last year in bud. And it's sitting with its child, the little Dendrobium nestor, red dragon. It's a cross between Dendrobium Anosmum and Dendrobium parishii. So, I wouldn't say that this is a gorgeous blooming, but it's a blooming, yes, of the little child. And here's the parent, Anosmum. Same in number as last year, but I think they look a little bit more like birds in flight, a little bit oblong. Last year they looked like this. This year, like this. They crumpled up a little bit. Maybe it's due to lack of water. I'm not sure really. But as I said, it's a blooming. And this poor blooming is the first time blooming for this Dendrobium nestor. Red dragon. I'm not sure why they call this one red dragon. It's so similar to this one, color-wise. This one has better color to to the center and the gap, deeper on this one. But it's a larger flower, indeed. So it's nice to have the child and the parent. And it smells like ripe raspberries. So now it's been 23 days since this Anosmum species first opened up its flowers. So I put them up there. Well, I mean, what's the point in growing orchids if you're not able to enjoy the flowers sitting in there? No, I don't think so. But I believe it shortened its blooming period a little bit, but I don't think it matters really. These are going over today. It's synonym to the superbum. So it's got several names, of course, but Anosmum is one of the names and superbum is another. Could last for 4 weeks, a month. And 23 days is not so bad indoors. And these canes are considered to be very long, yes they are, and very bloom willing as well. So I was surprised that I managed to rebloom it this well. I think it had one more flower last year after it's been given the ultimate conditions. So I think 4 flowers is alright for being a first time blooming here after change of conditions and all, temperatures and water quality and preferences. And now from March to November, it should be given a lot of water and fertilizer. Water and feed it well, really. See, already new canes starting. I want them to grow as long as the previous year's ones, which I managed to do. I managed to grow the new canes just as long as previous years. cane which it bloomed from when it arrived in bud. So I think I did something right. And what did I do, considering the watering? Yeah, it's sitting in charcoal, rock wool, and a lot of perlite. Yeah, in this basket, very old basket, which allows the water to seep through the bars there, so to speak. I've been reducing the water, but I cannot stop watering altogether, as the rock wool will suck all of the liquid out from the roots. So I need to keep it evenly moist at all times, just a little bit moist at all times, even throughout the winter period. Yes, December to March, yeah? And so I did, but no fertilizer. I didn't give it any fertilizer throughout that period. And around a steady temperature on about 18 to 20 to 22 degrees, even throughout the winter period. From now on, I'm going to give it a lot of water and fertilizer. And relatively high humidity in that cabinet. And what about the light? I never speak about lights really when it comes to dendrobiums. I think that's mostly due to the fact that many of them requires only dappled, filtered, medium lights. So, but this is a good light source, relatively close to where it's been hanging there, to the grid, to the right, yeah. And yes, why not stretch it as far as including the Dendrobium nestor's other parent. We have Anosmum, and here, up here in the bright shade, we have the Dendrobium parishii. I got this orchid at the very same time as I got the farmeri. Covered with leaves, looking pretty and swell. But what I didn't know really about it was its stage of maturity, so to speak. Is it a flowering size orchid yet, or will it need 1 or 2 more years perhaps? I'm not certain. I never had this species before, but what I'm certain of is that it's creating cakeys, yeah, like crazy. Too bad I didn't remove it, but I never saw any green root tips to start with, but maybe if I remove it and put it into a separate container, a little glass vase, it might start growing roots again. They might start growing roots again. This is a separate plant, yeah. I'm actually gonna, yeah, now I have two. It's just a funny project. Just put it there. It's in coconut husk fiber chips. Lasts very long. Doesn't break down as fast as moss or bark. So that's why the nurseries always persist on using the coconut husk fiber of some sorts in many shapes and forms. This one I haven't been given a lot of water since November. Now it's April. Just a trickle of water lately. Every now and then, I assume. I don't remember. But I was getting a little bit agitated. This orchid, she's not doing anything, really. And yeah, look. It's her time to bloom. She's got a longer blooming period, a blooming range period than other dendrobiums, obviously, as it's capable of flowering from February to August. Oftentimes this flowering period will peak in May to June. So, and it blooms on 2-year-old canes. I don't know how many years old these canes are. This one surely doesn't look like a fresh one. Even looks like it's been blooming before, but I cannot see. This one might just as well be a little new cakey. Doesn't matter. It's alright. But now you can see she's starting on a couple of new growth. 1 week ago, they weren't visible. Oh, and this one I can, yeah, peel off as well. What more about this orchid? I can put her down, I don't need to hold her. Dry winter rest, also called and referred to as parishii Dendrobium. Carries 5 centimeter wide flowers. Lives in southeastern part of China, Asia. Raspberry and rhubarb scent. So we still have some time. Yeah. It's the same one? Yeah, probably. To discover whether it's going to bloom from this cane or not this year. If I play my cards right and water and fertilize this orchid well throughout this growing season, we might grow these new guys longer and better. But this one isn't supposed to be an extremely long cane one. That's where the Anosmum comes in and play. That's why they always cross the Anosmum with stuff due to its bloom willingness and very long, beautiful canes, which this one are lacking. Short canes. You should water it when you see buds. Yes. And when they're growing, they don't need an abundance of light. As in its natural habitat, they have a heavy cloud cover in nature, yeah? Meanwhile, they're growing with loads of humidity and loads of water. So, let's see what the future will tell about this orchid. I'm quite curious. I'm hiding behind that. Yeah, I guess you all can see it. What do you think about this? For being a first time blooming, re-blooming, I think it's a quite alright blooming, isn't it? Let me see if I can, yeah, a little bit of light here. Not sure. I usually do not like filming during daytime, as the light is not optimal, but it doesn't matter. You can all see her. She's very wide, considering her flowers. I will measure them for you. Let's look at this one. 8 centimeters. 3 inches across. That's quite huge size for being a dendrobium, isn't it? This one is only 6.5. But they have just started to open. I mean, these are the oldest ones. Been out for a couple of days. Well, this is a Nobile hybrid. One you can find at the local garden center. Mine's got a little trade name, Dendrobium nobile, Sunny Eyes. Reported in May 24. Yeah. And you want to see what a roots looks like? Yeah. I think I did at least something right when I reported this orchid. Yeah? How did I treat her to get her into bloom? I reported her into coconut husk fiber chips a little bit, yeah? Moss and bark and perlite and charcoal. My regular Cattleya mix, which is very useful. Works for a lot of different orchid genesis. As I said before, several times. After she finished blooming, or while she was in bloom, shall we see, even last year, she started to create her new growth. This year, she's very early producing her next year's growth. This one appeared just the other week. I didn't really know what to do with her, so I put her into the higher humidity cabinet there, under relatively dappled light. Yes, there, that position. Humidity range between about 50 to 80% humidity. Yes, watered her like crazy. Never let her dry out. And as I saw that her newest canes had reached almost the size of its oldest ones, you can see, I moved her throughout the winter period to that position in this window, down to about, I don't know, what did I say, earlier in this video. Well, sometimes it's been 9 degrees in this window for a short period. Then it went up to 15, 14, 15, and then 18. So most part of the times during winter, it's been 18 degrees in that window. So she's been kept drier throughout the winter. A little bit of water each and every week. No fertilizer, but I didn't keep her bone dry. Her canes never really shriveled up. Yes, additional lights, you can see that. And now, 1 month ago, I first spotted little buds on the upper part of the canes. I've heard that there's something you can do to prevent the buds only to appear to the upper part, but I'm not sure what it was I heard. I forgot. Maybe you can remind me, guys. But it's a lovely, lovely scent to this orchid flowers. A little bit like raspberries, even to this one. Just like the Anosmum, and obviously the parishii as well, I've heard. So I'm very pleased and happy with this purchase, even though she's a bit large. But she's not so wide. She's more tall than wide, of course, as you can see. As you probably are familiar with the Nobile hybrids, as they are so commonly occurring. You can get them everywhere, it seems, even at the local grocery stores nowadays. But it's normally the white ones that you see. This one isn't as commonly occurring as the white one, yeah. And here we have an orchid many people desire. I was one of them. Just had to have it. Dendrobium spectabile. Also a species. Kind of difficult to get hold of a good-sized one. So I had to pay a reasonable amount of money for this orchid, really. But this one should be flowering size. It's a division of some sorts. But I don't care. I think it's growing on nicely here. I'm waiting for the spectacular flowers. From Orchid Garden. Purchase from October last year. So about 6 months it's been here. 6-7 months. Created, I think, this cane. So it still needs some time to adjust. Looks that way, but it's a healthy one still. Dendrobium species, Nobile species. Unfortunately, no flowers. She arrived in bud last year in April. I gave her what I thought would be the best conditions, but it simply wasn't enough. Now she's in active growth, creating 2 new canes, which hopefully she will bloom from. If not, maybe she's the type of orchid that will produce flowers from 2-year-old canes. Yes, this one is a very good cane, produced in my care, so I don't really know why this one didn't bloom. But I do see a quite sharp bump there. These are getting wrinkled, the old ones. So, but she's just been given a trickle of water every now and then throughout the winter, and cooler and bright. So maybe she needs a bit more time. But she still looks like a great orchid to me. She doesn't hate it here. And I think it's lovely to have the species, Nobile, yes, in my collection. And I also have a few other Dendrobium orchids in my collection, which I'm not going to go into in detail today, or not even swiftly. Will be a little bit too much, but this is the Garden Sunray from Curling Flower Size Orchid, November 23. very sun-craving orchid, which needs a little bit more delicate care than a few others I've heard, and it can grow over 1 meter tall, I heard as well. So this one is going to be a real challenge. The relatively famous Dendrobium delicadum, also right up against the window, growing very well now, and fast. Yes. Here we have my tiny little Jenkinsii. Not much happening really. A little new growth there. Other than that, it's the slowest growing dendrobium I ever seen. Yeah. That is alive. And back there, Tetragonum variation gigantea. It really likes it now. An abundance of roots, green root tips at all times almost. It's been blooming. Very significantly looking and shaped canes. You can flower from a little point looking like this, from anywhere, basically, from the canes. Quite short-lived flowers though, but I still like it. I like the shape of the canes a lot. Dendrobium officinale bloomed for me not long ago. It actually managed to bloom, but I haven't had it for very long until it decided to put out spikes. So maybe it's not due to my care, but it doesn't matter. I like the long-lived flowers. Beautiful flowers. On that one. Here's a similar one, Dendrobium cadenardum. Yeah, looked tatty for a while, now bouncing back. Yeah, I got it in bloom. Yes, from Carlin. I get a lot of dendrobiums from Carlin. And here, something I don't know why I bought. Dendrobium lavesii pink. So similar to the Sullivansiense, or glomeradum, if you will. I mean, it's growing its canes very long, with ugly leaves. This is what its flowers looks like. Little white spot to the underside. To show this orchid from its best side, to make it perform, I will need to do something like this with it, as I did for the Sullivansiense, which is blooming quite frequently for me. Just parted it and staked it up, upright. I thought it would be better for it, but now when its conditions are a little bit less humid, it's taking a toll on the leaves. But it's got a couple of new canes there growing, so we'll see about that one. What else? Yeah, and we have Dendrobium bulanianum, also from Carlin, growing very nicely. Beautiful canes produced in my care. Shouldn't be kept dry, I've heard, so I sprayed it quite frequently during winter period. Yellow beautiful flowers, yellow round flowers. I like the appearance of this orchid in a way. It's quite interesting. Oh, I've got plenty of orchids, don't I? Let's just remove, oh, look at this one. That is not a dendrobium, so let's get her out of the way. Hey, I noticed that my Dendrobium Victoria Regina, the Japan Select, It's starting to die. It's there. But the one from the Philippines doing better, on the other hand. Even though it looks like the cane is broken, it's not. It's been like this for several months now. It would have shown by now, but it's starting to grow a new growth and a couple of roots. I did try, I think it was the, no, this one did try to bloom not long ago, but it failed. It blasted its bud, unfortunately. Yeah, and here you can see this happened so rapidly. Yeah, just tonight. It's amazing, really, guys. It's one of my favorites. The parishii, or a film. One of my favorite, as I said. Dendrobium orchids. Beautiful purple, pinkish, whitish flowers. I watered this guy with a little bit of nutrients yesterday evening. 1 day later, 24 hours, these guys turns up. Is that even possible? No, must have missed them. And a little cakey. This one arrived in bloom last spring. This is promising, really promising. Yes. And this community pot with the Dendrobium nobile lying there, the purple one, and another film which I got from the guy at the Orchid Society. Here, it's growing. I thought it would die, but it didn't. The nobile and a little lodigessii to the corner, growing well. Here's the second last thing I'm going to show you guys today. Yeah, new growth. Good. New growth there. I watered this guy as well. I watered all of my mounted dendrobiums last night. And look what happens. It's a lodigessii. It's considered to be a very easy grower and bloomer, a compact one. But I haven't seen anything of the sorts, especially no blooms yet. Got it last September. But better be patient, and miracles will happen. And a gorgeous little Dendrobium rhodostictum. The one shall be kept damp at all times. There. It's there. And it blooms for a few months in a row. And it did bloom last summer. So hopefully this new growth will give us something from here to the center. That's where its flowers comes out. Gorgeous one, this rhodostictum. Now over to the last orchid, which I really need a little bit of help with. Stay tuned. So here we have an orchid that puzzles me a great deal, to be honest. It's the Dendrobium chrysotoxum. Del 231005 means divided. So that wasn't me doing anything. Was the former owner of this orchid. Yeah, it's a very, very tall orchid. Its largest cane measures. Yeah, must be that one. Yeah, let's see how tall it is. Over 40. Yeah, 42 or 17 inches high. Yeah, and a look at the width of this last year's growth. Produced in my care. Look, even the zip tie got too tight. So you can see there's a marking there. Just trying to expand the width of this cane so fast, so much. But where are the flowers? Yeah, just still sitting in moss and bark base medium. It arrived in. I think I got it in March last year. What about this chrysotoxum, also referred to as the golden bow or the fried egg orchid? If you read about it, it says that it's a small-sized orchid which reaches about 10 to 30 centimeters in height. Yes. So is this really the chrysotoxum? Well, I trust the seller. I really do. And it looks so similar to the chrysotoxum I had prior to this one. But that one was a lot smaller, but at least 25 centimeters tall anyways. Didn't bloom. I had it for several years. So it's considered an easy, cared for orchid. Could be grown indoors as well as outdoors. Relatively short-lived flowers, though, can bloom from winter to spring. I should give it a little bit of a rest after it's finished its blooming, I've heard. Well, I should never let it dry out completely, so it gets bone dry. Strong indirect sunlight. Yes. Good air movement, as it's prone to get mites and other types of stuff. Yeah, especially the mites. I had it on my prior one. So good air circulation to prevent, pests and fungus. You can get black spots very easily on its leaves. So it's quite prone to diseases, this plant, really. Which I experienced with my prior one. I got everything, yeah. Intermediate temperatures. Reduce water and fertilizer a little bit and give it a little bit cooler temperatures during winter period. Yeah, Southeast Asian species, belongs to the Callista family. And here you can see its other synonym names. But tell me guys, how to bloom this orchid? It should be more than capable of blooming, shouldn't it? Look, I mean, what's the point in creating all of these bumps, all of these nodes, whatever you want to call them, if there's not going to be anything coming out from them in shape and form of flowers? Look, several ones to the old ones. And the former owner really grows dendrobium orchids well and blooms them even better. But this one even produced kikis in his care. Or all these old flower spikes which started to create roots. That may happen as well after blooming. So it should be this way they come out, the flower spikes. He told me it had been blooming on a regular basis for him. So what am I doing wrong? He's got a little bit more cancerous water where he lives. So as I went to his place yesterday and saw his chrysotoxum, a mounted one, in bud. And it had 40 degrees Celsius in there, in the greenhouse, where it's presently sitting. So, and of course, a bit of drop in temperatures during nighttime. But I asked, and he told me, no, not so much drop. So it stays, if I understood it correctly, relatively hot during springtime when the buds are being created. So as you can see, I tried to move this orchid to a little bit warmer area and added grow LED lights, real red, white and blue grow LED lights pointing directly towards it. Maybe changing conditions can help it on its way. Yeah, just a thought. Help me, please. I would love to see this orchid in bloom someday, or preferably this spring. Yeah. So you guys, I think that was it. Yeah, I showed you guys my whole collection. but not in detail, as I promised. Otherwise, this video would have turned out very long. But sometimes it's nice to make longer videos as well. It doesn't have to be 25 minutes or 18 or such. But I do hope that you want to give me some advice, and that you want to leave a comment, and that you want to subscribe, and that you want to follow these orchids on the journey here on the windowsill. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Would be appreciated. Take care, and we shall talk soon. Bye-bye. Have a lovely day.